Hello, good afternoon and welcome to my model railway, Bedstead Junction. See it down there, the bedstead. We're doing this handheld just for now. This is going to be a sort of a part one of this, and it's going to be a follow-up on this Safe and the Skip series I've been doing. Now I thought we'd have another look at this lovely train set which I managed to save. Those of you who have seen the other videos will know that this lovely train set here, well, it's on its way to the skip. Okay, literally on its way to the skip. It had been kept in a shed for a long time, a wet shed. The box was soaking wet. Okay, absolutely soaking. Okay, but the train set inside appeared to be okay. Now my sister rang me up and said, well, did I want it? It had been kept in a leaky shed for a long time and they were about to throw it all out. And I said, okay, I'll have it. And they kindly brought it up for me. And we had quite a lot of things included. Now, the only thing that's missing from this train set appears to be the track pack. But with it came this lovely little controller here. Okay. That was broke. I've actually bodged the wire in there. I don't know. Nobody shout bodger at me, please. It is quite safely put together and it's quite low voltage and it's working now. But this is what came in the train set. Now we had some track here. Well, I've already got track here, but yeah, it came with this lovely British Railways locomotive. You can see on the box, look, it's got the British Railways, the British Steel box and everything else. Okay. So we've got this lovely British Railways locomotive here. We'll just take this one out of the box. Okay, we're going to place it onto the track. All handheld, of course, this today. And then we'll just take a little look and we'll just see. Because I'm not on the track right. There we go. There we go. Quite a bit of a sudden sprint there, but it's going. Now bear in mind, this poor little locomotive was kept in a wet shed for a long time. It's all been dried out properly. Okay, we'll have a look and see what it came with. It came with this lovely little British Steel wagon as well, all on the theme of industrial freight. There we are, so that was on there now. Then this DCA wagon. Now, part of the couplings are broke. I mean, this was for my nephew at the time. He was quite young at the time. We're talking about 2002, I think he had this train set. But we'll put that one there. So that's the train set that came with it. Okay. Now what we're going to quickly do is I'm just going to leave the camera. Just looking at the train set so far. I'll be back in just a moment. Right, sorry about that. Now coming back just for completeness, this is a rather elderly brake van there, Great Western brake van. It's going to go onto this train as well, so it's just to make it complete. That can go onto there. We'll just remove the railing ramp. There, so what we've done now is we've covered up the train now. Now we're going to put the box to one side, just for a moment. Set the points. Now bear in mind, this is a little 040 locomotive, the type which you will get in Hornby train sets of its time, about 2002, and these are very, very similar to the ones you'll get in train sets today. Now we're just going to So we go forward. And there we are, we're pulling away quite nicely now. And this one ran like this out of the box. I thought, well, it's never going to run, it's been in a wet shed for ages. But it just simply ran. Okay, so it's pulling this little train, including my additional little elderly brake van there. Okay, so that's it. We'll have a little closer look at the train when it's all together. Now we can see, if we take a look now, now the box, I mean, you can see it's definitely there to fire the imagination. It's got like a, you know, a picture of a locomotive wheels up there. Got your British Railway 040 locomotive there, with the British Steel, the DCA wagon, and I think there's a tool van. The track mat, which sadly it didn't still have this, but it came with the controller. Look, you can see all the stuff is meant to come with there. It's all there together, and this was saved from the skip. Okay, just something I couldn't let happen, and I'm absolutely delighted with it. One wonderful little train set. It's a follow-up on this, of course. We've seen these Hornby train sets before, and we're going to be looking at another locomotive in just a moment. You would have seen before as well. We're going to get this down. We're just going to put our industrial freight box to one side. There we are. You can see how nice it goes around. Now you can imagine these industrial freights, I mean, these will be probably from private sidings. Obviously on this one it's probably going to be from a steel works, so it's got British Steel on it, and maybe it's transporting steel down the line to various places. Maybe it's a car manufacturer or someone making cookers, you know, anything made from steel, and steel will always be in demand in this country. And hopefully steel will continue to be produced in this country. Our 040 is gallantly going around the track now, carrying its goods to its relevant place. Okay, so we're just going to stop things there for a moment, and I will be editing these parts together. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop this for now. I'll be coming back to proceedings just in quite shortly. What we'll do is we'll bring this lovely locomotive towards us. Now I've got models of all types, so you know you've seen me with my diesels, my star classes, my castles, and I've got a king and everything else. Well, this is a fine little locomotive here. Look at that, beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so you can't go wrong with that, can you? What a lovely little locomotive. Alright, so we've got the wagons there, you can see going off into the distance there. And you can see it's clearly see from here, it's 040 configuration. And it's green British Railway livery, but it's even got a nice little lining on it. So I mean, there's no cab windows or anything. I mean, it's a fairly basic model, but what a lovely model to have. Okay, so we'll just break things off slightly now. We'll move on to another part in a moment. Right, now we are back again for basically what would be the next little section of this. And what I've done is I've stopped the camera for a while I got the rest of my railway out. Now what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at this other train set as well. And this I have featured this in another video, but I'd like to do a recap on this. And we'll look at the other one that came with it. Now this was also kept in a soaking wet leaky shed. Okay, and this is the my first train set. So you can see my first Hornby, my very first Hornby, or it would have been for my one of my younger nephews. I just knocked one of the locos over, but you can see what the configuration of the train is there. What you can expect to get. And this one was battery operated, and it would have been for someone of very young, where, for example, you would be nervous about letting a young person loose, maybe with a mains controller. So it was battery powered, and it was quite an interesting little thing. I'm trying to resurrect it for now. It does got all the track in the box, and it's got the various pieces for it, but I've got the rolling stock out of the box, and we'll just have a look and see about all this now, the rolling stock. So as you can see, as you saw on the box itself, this lovely little LMS locomotive here. Okay, now what we're going to do is okay, LMS locomotive. Sorry about if you heard some bleeps in the background, that's notifications coming in on my phone. I'm going to put do not disturb on there now. There we are, so that's, we shouldn't hear any more bleeps on my phone now. Okay, so we've got this lovely little LMS locomotive here. Nice little thing in brown, different livery. It's virtually the same in construction as the other locomotive we saw just a moment ago, the green one. The only difference really between the two is the livery. Now the next in the procession of the trains is this delightful little carriage, okay, in brown. Okay, so in fact, so some trains on branch lines will certainly be a mixture of passenger and freight. Some actually dropping things off. Certainly milk trains, I think, were for that as well. But there we go. That was a lovely little carriage that came with it. Then this lovely little brown wagon came with it as well. Fabulous little thing. And then the grey wagon. There. Okay, so that came as part of the train set. And then finally, I've added this on. Again, this wasn't part of the train set, but we're going to add on this little brake van onto the train as well. Okay, so we can see all the pieces now. But again, I think this was for my younger nephew at the time. And now what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can bring this train round. Okay, and we're going to follow it round now. There we go, a little bit jerky on the point, we didn't expect that. That's my fault, I haven't positioned the goods shed properly. We'll just correct that for a moment. There we are. The perils of live video, I'm not going to re-record that. So in fact what we'll do is we'll see if we can bring it back out and see if it's all still running. There we are. So our little industrial freight locomotive now can go into the goods shed. Now this is one thing which comes with the territory of having a completely mobile layout. All these baseboards are not fixed to anything, except two planks of wood underneath and it's all resting on the top of my bed. Okay, so it all comes out at the end of every, all comes out at the beginning of every session and goes away in the evening, or when I finish actually running. We can see around the layout now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the points. And we are going to bring the other locomotive into action. And you just watch me use the railing ramp for this. we'll just remove the railing ramp, and then we'll just watch this one go around the layout as well. Now, I think basically what happened was that my nephew had this. I think he could have been all that old when he had this train set. But I think I remember this being featured in one of my family videos. So he must have had it on his birthday, and that was down at Howell in Cornwall, was where we were celebrating his birthday, staying in a chalet. I remember this that very train set being out, the industrial freight, and then this one. My first train set must have been a later purchase. Now we're going to see if we can get this one going forward. Now this one was a terrible runner when I first got it. It was very, very jerky when it was running, and I think it was probably where it was suffering from being in the shed for so long. Imagine this being in a leaky shed, and again I managed to get it going. It literally, I dried it out, and it literally ran straight from the shell of the box, but it was very, very jerky. But I managed to get it all sorted out. You can see, again, you just cannot think about contemplate this being thrown out. I mean, it's going round. I've got to be honest with you, since I've actually received these two little train sets, I got just as much enjoyment out of this as I've had out of any of my trains, really. And I've got everything there, train-wise, steam and diesel and everything else, and some quite large locomotives. These little industrial freight and mixed freight and mixed trains. These were the kind of mainstay of the branch lines. And you can imagine these little 040 locomotives working very hard in industrial sidings and in pulling coal from coal mines and things like that. And now it's serving me quite well on my humble model railway here. So you're coming down now. In fact, I must be honest, this is the only NMS train that I've got on my layout, because I'm a Great Western person, to be honest, so I tend to go for Great Western or BR, come from Bristol. But to be fair, the Midland Railway did operate in Bristol. I think they had running powers into Tuppence Station, and of course they operated fairly locally to us on the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway. After the 1923 grouping, I think they were jointly ran by the Midland Railway and the Southern Railway on the Somerset and Dorset. And there would have been small little locomotives like this, no doubt, working away on the little branch lines. Now we'll see if the jerkiness has gone away. Now bear in mind I'm running this on this old controller, and this is the one that came with the industrial freight train set. It's the R965 train controller. You might be able to see it there, R965. And if you're going to get a cheap, I mean, not all of us can afford to buy and all the expensive gear to go with with our train sets or our modern railways. And in fact, this is how I would recommend someone should begin their hobby, with a little train set like this. See how you get on with it. You might get an oval track, maybe a circle or an oval track. A controller very, very similar to this, a very basic controller. Okay, we'll put the. Okay, so that in focus. But to be honest with you, I mean, to begin with, it's all anybody would need, and you can see this controller here. I mean, fairly good control. You can see now a lot of the jerkiness has gone out of the running of this loco as well. It did require quite a lot of a fair bit of TLC to get it running like this. Okay. But these engines must have been, you know, you imagine. I mean, I sort of got, you know, sentimental sometimes over things, you know, and you imagine these poor little engines. They were. My sister's gonna feel guilty now if she sees this, but you know, kept in a soaking wet shed, a leaky shed, for quite a long time. But at least they were saved. At least they were saved, and I had the opportunity of getting them, and I'm very grateful for that too. But now look at this, what a beautiful little locomotive going around the track. And yeah, and it's as good as anything. It's as good as anything, in my opinion. And you can see over there, we'll do a little bit of a zoom on it. There, bring that to focus. And that's my industrial freight train in the goods shed, which we did have a bit of a collision with as we were driving in earlier. But these things do happen when you have to put the models out every day, and the goods shed, obviously we need to get that exactly placed on the in relation to the track so you don't crash the train into the sides. But there we are. But it's all together now and it's all running, so we can have a nice little running session now. Now there is another locomotive which was in the industrial freight. You might have noticed it in the box. It doesn't belong with the train set, and I would probably guess that my nephew had bought this. I took him to a toy and train fair, a model railway exhibition. I think it was in Cleveland somewhere, and I'm sure that he bought it there. But it was bought as a separate item, and we'll have a look at her now. Now, okay, we'll zoom out a little bit, I think. Zoomed in too far there. Okay, let's have a look now. Now, you can see it's a little black locomotive there. It's not based on anything, I don't think that's British. Okay, it's probably either an American or an Eastern European design, I would guess. But it's based on. It's a fairly basic model. Okay, fairly basic. I've got the number 256 on it. It may have come from some kind of train set. Probably, I don't know. You get nowadays. You get them like from AliExpress and Mahano, I think, is ones like this. But it's not a bad little logo, to be honest. I mean, it's okay. And again, I'm sure that, you know, if this was someone's first loco, they were going to be using on a layout. I mean, again, should be quite happy with that. Okay, if you were modelling something British, to be honest though, a lot of Polish engines are turning up. But there certainly was a Polish engine for quite some time on the Avon Valley Railway, and I think what happened is that steam came to an end a lot later in Eastern Europe, and a lot of the locomotives became available, and so perhaps a locomotive like this might be seen somewhere today, for all I know. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's based on any particular one, so I don't even know if it's got a maker's name on the bottom. And you can see, I mean, you can see basically right through the bottom of it there. You've got the wheels and the pickups and everything else, and you've got the little cog that drives it. But we're going to have a little go with it in a minute, okay? And we're going to give it maybe a coach support. We'll give it a coach support. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring our other train set in just a moment. I'm going to give this little locomotive a run. Now that locomotive got its way over the points there. Very, very well. Okay, so that's a little 4-4 locomotive, and that just went over a set of points over there, like over the junction. Went over it perfectly. Okay, so again, these little 4-4 locomotives, I think they're perfectly fine for someone if you're just beginning the hobby. And I think I'm showing you this very much for someone who's going to think about beginning the hobby, and where to start. Now, We're going to put her onto the track now, and I'm going to find this locomotive something to pull in just a moment as well. Okay, so let's have a look and see. Now I think first of all what we'll do is we'll see if she runs. Now I took it out of the box and it's not been run since I did that. Well, we'll give her a little go. Here we go. There we are. How about that then? Okay, I grant you it's a bit noisy by some people's standards. And there might be something that might be. I'm a subscriber to Sam's Trains, okay, and I support Sam's Trains, but this might be the kind of locomotive that Sam's Trains might make fun of, okay. But to me, it's a perfectly fine little locomotive. You know, you might. I think for a lot of people, you know, if you're going to be buying a locomotive like this, it's probably come down in the more affordable end of the train set market, okay. And for a child to use for his first train, and perhaps even for an adult. I mean, why not? I mean, it's perfectly fine. Look at it. Okay. And you can see it go around the track, quite noisily, I will admit. But there's nothing wrong with it. And again, that literally ran out of the box. I think it needed again a little bit of TLC. To get it going, to get it run like this. It is waddling a bit. I don't know if you can see that coming down the track towards us now, but I think it's waddling a little bit. But I don't know. I think that's adding to the charm of it, to be truthful. And again, I got all this. I mean, if you take the brake vans out of the equation, which are mine from my own sort of collection I had before, I literally got all this stuff for nothing. I got the controller. 3 locomotives basically, all for nothing. And so I consider myself quite fortunate. I think somebody who wanted to start a hobby, maybe didn't have much money, would be quite delighted to have just this black locomotive you see going around now. Oh, it's working. Let's slow it down. We'll see what it does. And again, it's a basic 040 locomotive. Over the points it went without the slightest hesitation. Slowed down. Okay, it might not crawl as such, but it's slowed down, speeded up. It's got the controllability to it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to maybe give it something to pull. Right, here we go. What I do is I'm going to give it this GWR coach. So we're going to have quite a prestigious little train, only one carriage, but I think I'm sure it's capable of putting much more. I'm going to put it together like this. Oh, it coupled up no problem there as well. I did that by hand, by the way. Now, so we'll see her going round the track. There we go. Now this is the sort of thing, now I've certainly seen, like I said, Eastern European, certainly a Polish engine in use on the Avon Valley Railway. So you can imagine perhaps an engine like this find its way onto Preserve Railway, and certainly so I'm sure the Preserve Railway got them in, because like I say, they did finish steam in Eastern Europe a lot later, and some of the locomotives were quite easy to find. It's still maybe in working order, and this one's going around my railway in perfect working order too. There we go. Now, I hope you've enjoyed my little video today. I'm going to give it a little bit of an edit. It might take some time to get this out. Okay, it might be a repetition on a theme, okay, on my Safe from the Skip theme, but it gives you all of the engines in one go, in a kind of a cavalcade now. Okay, you've actually seen running, and you know, I think an engine like this, I mean, it's got an honesty to it, in my opinion. It's not pretending to be something it's not. Okay, it's a toy. It's a toy in many ways. A model, and is it a model? Is it a toy? I think it's both. Okay, it's both. And certainly, I'm enjoying watching this going around my track right now. Okay, and and fair enough. I'm enjoying this just as much as my stars, castles, kings, my westerns, my warships and stuff like that, my Grangers and manors. This is absolutely fine. And okay, and later on I might get my other controller out. But what I would say is that if you've got something like this and you know, don't throw it out. Don't throw it out. Somebody somewhere might be really grateful to get something like this. Okay, and so if you like what you see, well, I always say this, but obviously like it, subscribe and ring the bell, and then you'll be made aware of more of my videos, and you'll see more kind of subjects covered. I'm trying to keep things of interest. I've been doing this since the beginning of the lockdown, so I've been getting locomotives in to keep the interest up. And I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you have, well, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now. Thank you.